I guess food is a really important thing. So, and there's a lot of information out there about horticulture systems that, once they're set up, require very little ongoing maintenance to continue producing yields. So indigenous people from the Pacific Northwest to India to Amazonia have developed forest gardens where certain perennial species of trees, shrubs, vines, herbs, etc. are grown together in polycultures that complement and enhance each other's growth. So where niches that might otherwise be colonized by less desirable, opportunistic, dispersive species, we might call them weeds, are instead preemptively filled with desirable, edible, otherwise useful, or at least supportive species. So a common strategy within this would be like planting fast-growing nitrogen-fixing plants that are then chopped and dropped for mulch once the canopy fills in with your long-term succession of fruit and nut trees. The idea here is that with some foresight and thoughtful design, we can grow largely self-maintaining ecosystems that produce food, fuel, fiber, medicine, many other useful goods and materials, and that provide valuable services like habitat for non-humans, air and water purification, long-term soil building and carbon sequestration, and that are just beautiful and refreshing places in which to live and spend time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with the, I believe it was called like the Three Sisters, beans, corn, and squash.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that has to do with nitrogen content, right?
Yeah, so the beans would be the nitrogen fixer, the leguminous plant, that and it grows up the corn. The corn kind of supports it, and then the squash spreads out and kind of shades the ground around it and keeps the moisture down. And there's also a fourth sister, at least in the west, of Rocky Mountain bee plant that attracts pollinators.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that's a kind of a classic guild, and there's a lot of those, or a lot of polycultures, and there's a lot of experiments being done. I mean, there's a lot of information out there. I guess companion planting is like a kind of a keyword you can search for too, to find kind of what other people have done, and how those might fit together.